On tonight's video, our Round 1 Part 2 matchups. Hello all, and welcome back to Lily Bees. On tonight's video, we're moving on to the lower left portion of our bracket, and we have, once again, a bourbon and a rye matchup. We're starting off tonight with our bourbon matchup, Old Bardstown Estate versus Michters Sour Mash. So let's take a closer look at each of those bottles. We have the Michters Small Batch Sour Mash here. I'll give you some specifics. This is only an 86 proofer. No age statement from what I can see. And I've heard some interesting things on the term sour mash. You'll have to do your own research on that, but I've heard that it doesn't really mean anything. Okay, then we also have from the Willett distillery our Old Bardstown. This is a 101 proof, so we're a little higher in proof, but as we found out on the episode earlier this week, that didn't really make a big difference, where we had a 90 proof versus a 107, and I was way off on those. So this, once again, no age statement. There we go. So let's start off with a nose on each of these. Okay. Right off the bat, I much prefer the nose on the non-taped glass. If you missed the first episode earlier this week, I have one of these. These are both blind. I don't know what they are. One of them is in a taped glass, so I'll refer to the taped and non-taped glass. But I much prefer the nose on this one. I get much less of an alcohol kind of in your face. It's just kind of burns on the taped glass. A little more harsh. So let's start with a taste over here. I like that one. It's light, caramely. Maybe a little bit of vanilla in there. We'll come back to that. This one is very, very bright. It's got a zing and a bite to it right away. If I was being generous, I could say it was like a citrusy light fruit sort of a bite. But I think what it actually is just an ethanol alcoholic sort of a bite. Alright, we'll give each of these one more taste before I kind of make my decision. So once again, I still prefer this one, both nose and taste. It's just a little more well-rounded. Nothing sticks out or is offensive. But in the case of this glass, there's something in there that is just right in the back of your throat. There's a bite to that. I don't get a lot of flavor on it because I'm just overwhelmed with that. So I would say the winner for today is going to be the non-taped glass. And my prediction is that the non-taped glass is the Michters Sour Mash. But we'll find out if I was right at the end of the video. on to the next matchup. Okay, moving on with our rye matchup for the day. At the lower left of the bracket is Willett 4-year versus our Redwood Empire Lost Monarch. So let me give you the specifics on these. So the Lost Monarch is a blend of straight whiskeys, they say. It's actually a blend of rye and bourbon. So it's in the rye category in the case of our bracket, but it's technically a blend. There's at least a 3-year age statement, and it's 90 proof. Now, taking a look at the Willett Family Estate, I believe this is a 4-year. Yes, 108.8 proof. So we are a little higher here, but as I've mentioned, it doesn't always come out that way in a blind. So here we go. That's pretty nice, straightforward. Nothing stands out yet at the moment. That one is very nice. To me, this one smells sweeter, quite a bit sweeter. I get like a real light floral sort of a smell on that. This one's maybe just a touch darker, and I can smell a little bit more of the alcohol on that. So I think we'll come back and start with this glass. This will be the non-taped glass. That is very good. I do consider myself a rye person. I prefer rye generally. Right away, this has a nice viscosity, kind of a thickness that you can feel. And then, just in classic rye fashion, it kind of grows and just the flavors continue to grow in complexity as you drink it. It's got that peppery rye spice, and then just a kind of classic, well-rounded caramel vanilla on the back end. Moving over to the taped glass. Ooh. This one's a little bit thinner, but almost kind of a fruity taste. A little bit of an orange, possibly. Less of the rye spice to me. This has a lot more of that thickness and rye quality to it than this does. It's almost like a grainy, not in a bad way, but there's like a grit to it that I like, that this one doesn't have. So I think for the purposes of the bracket, my favorite today is going to be the non-taped glass, just because it's got that, to me, it tastes like higher proof, which I like. It tastes more rye forward, which I also like. And so that's going to win today, and my prediction is that the winner was the Willett 4-year, and that the taped glass was the Lost Monarch. So we'll see how that comes out. Okay, so let's see how I did. For our first matchup of the night, the Old Bardstown Estate versus Michters Sour. My guess there was that the Michters won, and it turns out I was wrong with that. So the winner there was the Old Bardstown Estate. I'll have to cross that out. And below that, we just had our rye matchup. The Willett 4-year versus the Redwood Lost Monarch. And that one was a victory. That winner was the Willett 4-year, and my guess was correct. So Willett moves on at the bottom of the bracket. So thanks a lot for watching. Hope you're enjoying the series. Make sure to like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you on the next one.